Live from KHOU 11, your news starts now.
Now at 6, shoppers evacuated from a Houston area mall during one of the busiest days of the holiday season. What investigators found and what it means for patrons. And police need your help to find a missing El Paso woman who came to Houston to visit friends. The latest on the search for 24-year-old Sydney Marquez. Plus, Houston's holiday rush is taking off. We're taking you to Bush Airport for a look at what workers are doing to keep things moving. Thanks for being with us. I'm Cheryl Mercedes. Tonight, operations are returning to normal at Katy Mills Mall after a fire broke out near the food court earlier today. Viewers sent us video showing large crowds of shoppers being evacuated amid the chaos this afternoon. Jalissa Garza is live outside the mall this evening with more on what shoppers need to know before they go. Hi, Jalissa.
Hey Cheryl, good evening. Well, the mall is back to operating at normal operations as they always do. Now we're standing by entrance 2 and this was blocked off. No one was able to enter the mall from this point. There was a bunch of fire trucks and we now know that the fire broke out at the Burger King inside of the food court. Now go ahead and take a look at some video on your screen right now. We do have video from inside the mall near the food court. You can see firefighters working with water hoses as crews responded. Now one shopper who sent us some video tells us she was in the food court when the alarms went off and there was no clear explanation of what was happening. She says people began running, so she followed, and she also saw nearby stores pulling down their security gates. We also spoke with a couple who was inside shopping at the time. Take a listen.
We were actually in the Nike store, right? And that's when it started going off, so they started to exit everybody. We did smell smoke though. So, but we didn't see any smoke or anything.
Now, eventually shoppers were allowed back inside and many continued shopping. Jasmine, who you just heard from, tells us she saw water hoses on the ground and again noticed that some of the stores actually remained closed. Now, again, as of right now, things are very normal. Where we're at, the parking lot wasn't as crowded because as people arrived here, Cheryl, they had no idea what was going on. But now we're seeing those parking spaces fill up as people complete their Christmas shopping. And I remember growing up and even working here, this is a really busy mall in our community, especially during the holidays. We'll have another update for you tonight at 10. For now, reporting live in Katy, Jalissa Garza, KHOU 11 News.
Yeah, Jalissa, things appear a lot calmer where you are now compared to that video earlier. A lot of folks definitely want to get their shopping done. Glad to hear they're returning. Thank you. We'll keep you posted as we get more information. For the latest, though, download the KHOU 11 app and turn on those notifications. Well, tonight authorities are asking for the public to help find a missing El Paso woman who was last seen in the Houston area more than a week ago. Here's what we know so far. 24-year-old Sydney Marquez was in Houston visiting friends. And police say she was last seen Thursday, December 11th along Bel Air Boulevard between the Sam Houston Tollway and South Gessner. However, relatives say Sydney may have taken a metro bus on Tuesday night near Harwin and Gessner. She was last seen wearing a gray hoodie, beige shirt, gray pants, and white sneakers. She has a 4-leaf clover tattoo on her wrist. If you have any information that could help bring her home, call Houston Police at 713-884-3131. Tragedy in Fort Bend County overnight. 3 people are dead, including a juvenile, after a wrong-way driver crashed into a family's car on the Grand Parkway. 2 others, including a 3-year-old child, are in the hospital. The wreck happened just after 2 this morning on the northbound lanes near FM 1464. Deputies say a woman and a juvenile in the family's car died on the scene, and a man and his 3-year-old child were airlifted to the hospital, where the man later died from his injuries. The alleged wrong-way driver, a 28-year-old man, was hospitalized as well. Right now, charges are pending. Tonight, Houston police are investigating after a standoff in North Houston ended with a suspect taking their own life. It started just after 12:40 this morning at the Redstone Apartments on Werner Road. Police say the suspect fired at officers, then barricaded inside an apartment before the standoff came to an end. No officers were hurt, and police say no one else fired their weapons. Investigators are still working to determine what led up to the standoff. Houston's holiday travel rush is officially underway, and today is expected to be the busiest for outgoing flights this winter. Airport officials say millions of passengers will pass through Bush and Hobby over the next few weeks. Michelle Choi takes us inside Terminal A at Bush with how airports plan to keep those lines moving.
Inside Terminal A at Bush Airport, the holiday travel rush is hard to miss. Long ticketing lines, packed terminals, and families juggling bags, all as Houston airports brace for one of the busiest travel periods of the year. From now through January 5th, airport officials expect nearly 3.4 million passengers to travel through Bush and Hobby, with almost 2.6 million flying through Bush alone. Among those travelers, Carol Townsend and her husband headed to New York to visit their son in the military. Anticipating a busy day, she says they planned ahead.
We allowed an hour to get to the airport, and we allowed about 2.5 hours to be in line. And luckily, we just zoomed right through on all of it.
So far, not too bad then for y'all.
For us, not too bad. Yeah, we're lucky.
But not everyone had the same experience. Several passengers flying Spirit Airlines found themselves stuck in some of the longest ticketing lines this morning, including this family of 4 headed to Puerto Rico.
You're at the tail end of this long line. Tell me what's going through your mind.
I'm just trying to make it to the gate and don't lose the flight.
Did you know today is the busiest outgoing travel day of this holiday period?
No, I didn't know. It's my first time in this airport and this airline, so.
Traveling with a 5- and 2-year-old and multiple bags, she says preparation started well before today.
2 weeks before my travel, like the biggest baggage, and then like 2 days or 3 days before this one's.
Another family traveling together, this couple and their 3-year-old son. While they didn't have issues at ticketing, getting to that point was the real challenge.
You had like 6 bags on you. Mom had like 3. She was rolling 2.
Yep.
You guys were going through it this morning.
Well, we were. I'm hoping that we don't have gifts coming back from our family because that was all that was in there. So.
Where are you flying to today?
We're flying to Montreal, Quebec.
Airport officials say they've also prepared for the holiday surge by improving traffic flow, expanding Wi-Fi and cellular service for rideshare customers, and rolling out new screening technology to help speed up TSA and U.S. Customs processing. They're also urging travelers to check real-time TSA wait times online, reserve parking ahead of time, arrive early, and pack smart. In Houston, Michelle Choi, KHOU 11 News.
Thank you, Michelle. Right now, things are going smoothly at both Houston airports. According to FlightAware, there are about 27 delayed flights at Bush and 8 at Hobby. But as Michelle mentioned, it's still a good idea to give yourself plenty of extra time if you're traveling this week. Also, if you're traveling this week, you'll want to look at the forecast because depending on where you are, man, you might be in shorts and a t-shirt, huh, Pat?
Yeah, and I think basically if you're staying here, that's going to be the case. Everywhere else, though, should be a little bit cooler. Let's see if you're traveling anywhere else tonight. Again, Bush and Hobby, fine. Most other airports are doing okay with the exception of JFK up in New York, over an hour delay up there. But Newark and LaGuardia are both fine. Denver, Minneapolis, Chicago, everybody else doing okay this evening. But again, this is just the tip of the iceberg, a long stretch of travel coming up as we get into the upcoming week. Few clouds out there right now. We are really warm, 76 degrees, dew points in the mid 60s. It does not feel like Christmas week. In fact, everybody pretty much in the 70s right now. 74 at Hobby, 73 for Wharton and Tomball, 70 in Conroe. Only 2 spots that are in the 60s are Galveston and Cleveland, both in the upper 60s. But when you compare it to this time yesterday, we are 15 to 20 degrees warmer. So it is a noticeable change for us here across Southeast Texas. The warmth and humidity will lend itself to more fog, so that comes back into the picture for tonight. We stay very warm getting into the upcoming week. Good news, though, travel conditions look quiet, at least around the state. We'll talk about the rest of the country here in just a second. For today, though, we tied a record high temperature. We actually made it to 81 degrees this afternoon. That ties a long-standing record over a 100-year-old record going back to 1921. We've got more warmth on the way the next few days, and I could see how maybe we challenge a couple more records. The forecast tomorrow, 80. The standing record is 82. The forecast for Monday is 78. The forecast for Tuesday, 79. Both days the record is 81, but again, we could actually get there if we get enough sunshine, the right combination of conditions. So some really hot temperatures by December standards coming up for us. Pretty quiet though on radar. Excuse me, nothing to talk about here across the state. We're going to stay quiet as we go through the overnight, but it is warm and muggy with dense fog developing. A front will try to approach us on Sunday, so we will be mainly cloudy with a stray shower chance. It will be cooler as you go north and west. Everyone else, though, will be stuck around 80, and we'll keep that shower chance in play again for Monday with warm conditions. Watch the future track here. Upper 60s for Columbus and Huntsville tomorrow morning. We're in the low 70s. By the afternoon, Columbus actually drops a few degrees to the mid 60s, mid 70s for Huntsville, and then low 80s for the city. So a pretty sharp divide here in the temperatures tomorrow afternoon. Excuse me. Getting into Monday morning, though, that warmth will really start to surge back in. We don't really see the numbers drop here in Houston. Again, that'll come with shower chances. Tomorrow morning, couple showers out there, mainly cloudy skies. We'll do that again as we get into the afternoon. That's Sunday. Then for Monday, we'll start with clouds, fog, again, maybe a couple of showers. I think as the day goes on Monday, we'll get a few more breaks of sunshine, but still kind of a gloomy and murky day for us across the area. Traveling anywhere tomorrow, the weather looks good on the East Coast. No problems from New York down towards Florida. Across the middle part of the country, we'll just see more clouds here. Notice the difference, though. Dallas in the upper 50s, we're at 80 degrees. Cold up towards the Twin Cities and Chicago. And then big travel issues possible from San Francisco up through the Pacific Northwest as another storm system moves onshore out there. So that'll be our travel trouble spot for tomorrow. Getting into Monday, could see some issues in the Great Lakes with some snow. That could move into the Northeast then for Tuesday. Otherwise, though, it's a pretty quiet picture here as we get into the few days leading up to Christmas. 81 in the books today. We started at 47, so a huge jump in the numbers from this morning to this afternoon. Forgive me, I'm battling something right now. As we get into Christmas week, though, that warmth really starts to take over. That stays with us for Christmas Day. High temperatures for Christmas, still at 80 degrees with a mix of sunshine and clouds. The good news, though, we do stay dry. No rain to worry about for Christmas Day. Still, though, not feeling like Christmas. Okay, overnight, 68 Brenham, 70 in the city. Same for Angleton, 69 for Livingston, 72 in Bay City. Tomorrow, watch, the numbers north and west are much cooler. They don't even move. So you get the cold front, Navasota, Brenham, Columbus, Huntsville as well. The farther south you are from the city down to the coast, though, we're going to be near 80 for a good part of the day. It's the first day of winter tomorrow also, by the way, in name only. It won't feel like it. 78 with a shower chance for Monday. Tuesday looks good. Christmas Eve looks good. Mix of sun and clouds, 79. Christmas Day looks good. Mix of sun and clouds, again, high temperatures around 80. And we stay warm all the way through next weekend. Cheryl.
All right. Thank you, Pat. Happening now, drivers near downtown Houston, you'll want to plan ahead this weekend. New street closures are underway as part of the ongoing I-45 construction project. TxDOT says Chartres Street between Elgin and Tuam is closed through January 30th for drainage work. Now, the red line right there shows exactly where the closure is. The blue and green arrows, well, those are the detour routes. Then on Monday, westbound Alabama Street will also shut down between St. Emmanuel and Chenevert from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and that is for water line work. Well, the Trump administration is under scrutiny over the Justice Department's handling of the release of the files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Hundreds of pages were fully redacted, which upset survivors and some lawmakers. Willie James Inman has more.
The Trump administration is facing scrutiny over the Justice Department's handling of the release of files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Thousands of records were made public for Friday's deadline, but the DOJ did not release all documents as required by law. Hundreds of pages were completely redacted, prompting concern from both lawmakers and Epstein survivors.
And a lot of effort and money and time put into redactions, not to protect victims, but to protect people in power.
What we need is a clear timeline of when the rest of the documents will be released and an explanation for why they did not release all of them today.
But in a statement Friday, the White House insisted that by releasing the files, the Trump administration is the most transparent in history.
And it's a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax.
Following pressure within his own party, President Trump signed bipartisan legislation calling for the release of all Epstein files. More documents were released Saturday, including what appears to be a 2019 grand jury presentation with a message that shows Donald Trump called Epstein. The call time is recorded as 5:18, but the message is not dated. No reason is given for the call. On Friday, President Trump addressed supporters in North Carolina, focusing on issues including the economy. But he also mentioned this week's strikes on ISIS targets in Syria.
And it was very successful. It was precision. We hit every site flawlessly, and we are restoring peace through strength all over the world.
Friday's strike came in response to the deaths of 2 servicemen and 1 interpreter killed in Syria last weekend. Willie James Inman, CBS News, West Palm Beach, Florida.
The U.S. Coast Guard and military have seized a second oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem shared video on X showing helicopters surrounding the ship. The seizure comes days after President Trump announced a blockade of sanctioned oil tankers entering or leaving Venezuela. Officials say today's vessel has not been confirmed as sanctioned. The move follows the December 10th seizure of the Skipper, a sanctioned tanker linked to Venezuelan oil and Iran. The Trump administration says the actions are meant to increase pressure on Venezuela. Turning now to some of today's other top stories. The NTSB is continuing to investigate a deadly plane crash in North Carolina that killed 7 people, including retired NASCAR driver Greg Biffle. Investigators say the plane took off from Statesville on Thursday and attempted to return about 10 minutes later. Early evidence suggests the aircraft was configured for landing but was flying too low. Today, officials confirmed that a passenger sent a text reading emergency landing moments before the crash, though the sender has not been identified. Biffle's wife, 2 children, and 3 others were among those killed. The cockpit voice reporter has been recovered and sent to NTSB headquarters in Washington, where investigators are working to extract that data. In Rhode Island, memorials are growing for the victims of the deadly Brown University shooting. Photos of the 2 students killed, surrounded by flowers and candles, line the front of the engineering building where the tragedy happened last weekend. 9 others were also injured. Meanwhile, police are still working to determine a motive after identifying the gunman as 48-year-old Claudio Neves Valente, a former Brown graduate student. He was reportedly found dead by suicide Thursday night in a storage unit in New Hampshire. Authorities confirm Valente is also linked to the killing of an MIT professor shot at his home just 2 days after the attack at Brown. Well, check your medicine cabinets. This evening, the FDA has expanded a nationwide recall of nasal sprays. Now added to that list, Clear Life Allergy Nasal Spray and Reboost Nasal Spray. The products may contain yeast, mold, or other microbial contamination above the acceptable levels. Now, while most people may not get sick, the FDA warns that this could be especially dangerous for anyone with a weakened immune system. Now, the recalled sprays come in 20 milliliter bottles, so make sure you check that box, with an expiration date ranging from December 2022 through December of this year.
Touchdown. Auto seeking start. Welcome home, NS-37.
An historic flight today in West Texas for Blue Origin's new Shepard rocket, sending 6 crew members briefly into space. Among them, 33-year-old Michaela Michi Benthaus, a German aerospace engineer and the first person who uses a wheelchair to fly into space. Benthaus used a special strap to secure her legs while exiting the seat so she can enjoy the thrill of weightlessness. She says the experience was a dream come true.
The coolest experience ever, honestly.
How did it feel to be unconstrained by gravity?
Super nice. I tried to turn upside down, you know. And actually, the leg thing you did worked quite well.
All right, good to hear.
But I didn't only love like the view and the microgravity phase, but I also loved all the going up. That was so cool, like to feel every stage of going up.
Blue Origin designated the flight NS-37, marking it the 37th launch of the new Shepard rocket. Well, the holidays are here, and local groups across Houston are making sure every child has a reason to smile. Today, the Houston Fire Department and Houston Children's Charity held separate toy distribution events. giving kids and their families gifts to brighten the season. In downtown Houston, firefighters and volunteers decked out in holiday gear handed out bags full of toys and part of the department's Operation Stocking Stuffer. It provides gifts for more than 20,000 kids every year. And the George R. Brown Convention Center looks more like Santa's workshop as families picked up toys, stuffed animals, and other goodies. The Houston Children's Charity partnered with the U.S. Marine Corps to distribute more than 66,000 toys to families. Both events are a reminder of Houston's spirit, showing how the community comes together to support families in need and make the holidays a lot brighter for everyone. Kudos to those volunteers. Well, plans for the Astrodome's future are coming into focus, and they come with some serious sticker shock too. Harris County has released new cost estimates to renovate or demolish the dome. Mia Gradney went on Instagram to break it down for you.
Houston, here we go again. New tonight, the future of the Astrodome and some serious sticker shock. Harris County just released new cost estimates to either renovate or demolish the dome, which has been sitting vacant since 2008. That's 15 years. Renovating it, that cost around $750 million, and that is for basic upgrades only. Plumbing and HVAC, no modernization, no historic preservation, and it still wouldn't work for major sporting events. Demolishing it isn't cheap either. That price tag comes in at about $55 million. The county says renovation just isn't realistic without private investors stepping in, and for now, there's no timeline on a final decision. So, Houston, the question still remains, what should happen to the dome? Let us know what you think.
Catch up on stories like this one and so much more wherever you go. Just check out the KHOU 11 app and our Instagram page. Pat, did you say first day of winter, it doesn't feel like it, and we tied a record?
Tied a record today. First day of winter tomorrow. Could tie another record, and then the warm 6 round as we get into the upcoming week. Temperatures will be, like at or near 80 degrees all week long. Mix of sun and clouds. Straight shower chance for tomorrow and Monday. I think the rest of the week looks dry with foggy conditions a lot of the next few nights, so just take it easy on the roads at nighttime with that fog. Again, visibility obviously going to be an issue, but that's pretty much it. That's what Christmas looks like for us this year.
Nasty.
Warm and muggy.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks so much. Thank you for joining us here on KHOU 11 News. Plus at 6, we'll have more for you tonight on TV at 10. See you then.